Okay, so it is, I don't know what, Tuesday or Wednesday of winter break, and I got snowed in on this end as opposed to driving out to the Hamptons, so guess where I'm sleeping tonight? In the classroom. But since I'm here alone and it's pretty spooky, I'm going to read a couple of chapters from Miss Lonelyhearts as promised. This will help me feel less afraid, and perhaps it might help you as you consider the book yourselves. So here's Miss Lonelyhearts, Chapter 1. Miss Lonelyhearts, help me, help me. The Miss Lonelyhearts of the New York Post Dispatch. Are you in trouble? Do you need advice? Write to Miss Lonelyhearts, and she will help you. Sat at his desk and stared at the piece of white cardboard. On it, a prayer had been printed by Shrike, the feature editor. Soul of Miss L, glorify me. Body of Miss L, nourish me. Blood of Miss L, intoxicate me. Tears of Miss L, wash me. O good Miss L, excuse my plea, and hide me in your heart, and defend me from mine enemies. Help me, Miss L, help me, help me. In sacula saculorum, amen. Although the deadline was less than a quarter of an hour away, he was still working on his leader. He had gone as far as, life is worthwhile, for it is full of dreams and peace, gentleness and ecstasy, and faith that burns like a clear white flame on a grim dark altar. But he found it impossible to continue. The letters were no longer funny. He couldn't go on finding the same joke funny 30 times a day for months on end. And on most days he received more than 30 letters, all of them alike, stamped from the dough of suffering with a heart-shaped cookie knife. On his desk were piled those he had received this morning. He started through them again, searching for some clue to his sincere answer. Dear Miss Lonelyhearts, I am in such pain. I don't know what to do sometimes. I think I will kill myself. My kidneys hurt so much. My husband thinks no woman can be a good Catholic and not have children irregardless of the pain. I was married honorable from our church, but I never knew what married life meant, as I never was told about man and wife. My grandmother never told me she was the only mother I had, but made a big mistake by not telling me, as it don't pay to be innocent, and it is only a big disappointment. I have 7 children in 12 years, and ever since the last 2, I have been so sick. I was operated on twice, and my husband promised no more children on the doctor's advice, as he said I might die, but when I got back from the hospital, he broke his promise, and now I'm going to have a baby, and I don't think I can stand it. My kidneys hurt so much. I'm so sick and scared because I can't have an abortion on account of being a Catholic, and my husband's so religious. I cry all the time. It hurts so much, and I don't know what to do. Yours respectfully, sick of it all. Miss Lonelyhearts threw the letter into an open drawer and lit a cigarette. Dear Miss Lonelyhearts, I am 16 years old now, and I don't know what to do, and I would appreciate it if you could tell me what to do. When I was a little girl, it was not so bad because I got used to the kids on the block making fun of me. But now I would like to have boyfriends like the other girls and go out on Saturday nights, but no boy will take me because I was born without a nose, although I'm a good dancer and have a nice shape and my father buys me pretty clothes. I sit and look at myself all day and cry. I have a big hole in the middle of my face that scares people, even myself, so I can't blame the boys for not wanting to take me out. My mother loves me, but she cries terrible when she looks at me. What did I do to deserve such a terrible fate? Even if I did do some bad things, I didn't do any before I was 1 year old, and I was born this way. I asked Papa, and he says he doesn't know, but that maybe I did something in the other world before I was born, or that maybe I was being punished for his sins. I don't believe that, because he's a very nice man. Ought I commit suicide? Sincerely yours, Desperate. The cigarette was imperfect and refused to draw. Miss Lonelyhearts took it out of his mouth and stared at it furiously. He fought himself quiet, and then lit another one. Dear Miss Lonelyhearts, I am writing to you for my little sister Gracie because something awful happened to her and I am afraid to tell Mother about it. I am 15 years old and Gracie is 13 and we live in Brooklyn. Gracie is deaf and dumb and bigger than me, but not very smart on account of being deaf and dumb. She plays on the roof of our house and don't go to school except to deaf and dumb school twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mother makes her play on the roof because we don't want her to get run over as she ain't very smart. Last week a man came on the roof and did something dirty to her. She told me about it and I don't know what to do, as I'm afraid to tell Mother on account of her being liable to beat Gracie up. I'm afraid that Gracie is going to have a baby, and I listened to her stomach last night for a long time to see if I could hear the baby, but I couldn't. If I tell Mother, she'll beat Gracie up awful because I am the only one who loves her, and last time, when she tore her dress, they locked her in the closet for 2 days, and if the boys on the block hear about it, they'll say dirty things like they did on Pee Wee Connor's sister the time she got caught in the lots. So, please, what would you do if the same happened in your family? Yours truly, Harold S. He stopped reading. Christ was the answer, but if he did not want to get sick, he had to stay away from the Christ business. And besides, Christ was Shrike's particular joke. Soul of Miss L, glorify me. Body of Miss L, save me, blood of. He turned to his typewriter. Although his cheap clothes had too much style, he still looked like the son of a Baptist minister. A beard would become him, would accent his Old Testament look. But even without a beard, no one could fail to recognize the New England Puritan. His forehead was high and narrow, his nose was long and fleshless, his bony chin was shaped and cleft like a hoof. On seeing him for the first time, Shrike had smiled and said, "The Susan Chesters, the Beatrice Fairfaxes, and Miss Lonelyhearts are the priests of 20th century America." A copy boy came up to him to tell him that Shrike wanted to know if the stuff was ready. He bent over the typewriter and began pounding its keys. But before he had written a dozen words, Shrike leaned over his shoulder. "Same old stuff," Shrike said. "Why don't you give them something new and hopeful? Tell them about art. Here, I'll dictate. Art is a way out. Do not let life overwhelm you. When the old paths are choked with the debris of failure, look for newer and fresher paths. Art is just such a path. Art is distilled from suffering. As Mr. Polnikoff exclaimed through his fine Russian beard when at the age of 86 he gave up his business to learn Chinese, we are as yet only at the beginning. Art is one of life's richest offerings. For those who have not the talent to create, there is appreciation. For those, go on from there." And that is the first chapter of Miss Lonelyhearts. Thank you for helping me to feel a little less scared in the building alone.